Hi everyone, welcome to the Knitting Turnpike. Welcome to the Knitting Turnpike. My name is Gina Pike. I'm so very happy that you're here with me today. Today we're going to be doing a Clue 2 spoiler update for the Romi Hill Mystery Shawl Knit Along for 2022. This is Time Heals. You guys, if you've been watching my videos, I am doing an update for each clue. Clue 2 came out last Friday, and so I've been working feverishly to get, I'm doing 2 shawls. Been working very hard to get both of these shawls knitted so that I could film this before Clue 3 comes out this Friday. So I think probably this will be posting on Friday, so this will be posting right as Clue 3 will be coming out. But this is a Mystery Shawl Knit Along. This is her 10th annual Mystery Shawl Knit Along. She's done this for the last 10 years, and I've done it with her for like the last 7 years. So I am a Romi fan of the mystery knit alongs that she does. They're so much fun, but there's still plenty of time to jump in and knit this along with us. I'm doing 2, so it's taking me a little bit longer to keep up with, more knitting, but I am able to knit one of these in about a couple of days of knitting. So there is, plenty of time. You have a whole week before the next clue comes out. There's plenty of time for you to start this, get caught up with us, and be ready for the next clue if you want to. So I highly encourage that. I will put all the information for this pattern page, where my project page, if you want to check out my progress, down in the description box below. So let's get into it. And also I want to just mention, when I get right before I show my shawls, I'm going to show you both of them. I will give you a little bit of a heads up if you are making this and you don't want to see them. That way you can just stop the video. But if you do want to see them, I kind of like to see stuff. I like to see other people's projects as I'm making it. That, for me, that's the funnest part of the mystery knit along. I like to go into the Romi group on Ravelry and look at all the other projects being made at the same time, and the different yarns, and people have different takes on things. And actually we have 3 people in this group here, my YouTube family, the Knitting Turnpike family, that are knitting this along with me, that have allowed me to share their projects, and I'll be showing that as well today. But let's get into it. I have also, just before I'll mention this as well, I've been doing these little short videos, and I shared all 3 stitches that I'm going to be sharing today. I will do stitches tutorial at the end of this video as well. At the very end, I'll do stitches tutorial. These are longer versions of what I released in the short clips. I did the short clips because I thought it might be fun, might be nice to have just a short reference. They're going to be on my YouTube page, where you can just get into the nitty-gritty of the stitch. The longer versions have a little bit slower. You can maybe see it a little bit better. I might explain a little bit more, and I might show it more than one time. So please watch the stitch tutorials at the end if you're interested. If not, just stop the video when you get to that point too. That will be at the very end of the video, because I know not everybody in here with me on my YouTube group, some people are just crocheters, so, and that's fine. So and I apologize, I have been doing just more knitting this week. I'm hoping that next week, I had a little bit of a busier week out of the house. I went to my local yarn store for local yarn store day, but I'm hoping maybe next week I can maybe do more of a vlog update where I show you a little bit other things besides just the Romi Hill clue. But this week, that's kind of really what all I did. I have a couple of days before the next clue comes out, and I probably will be working on that edging for Romi Hill's tone poem, because I have so much of that to do. So I really don't have any crochet to show you this week, but hopefully next week will be a different story. So let's get into Clue 2. This mystery shawl, Shawl 10, Time Heals. She started out again with the words. I'm going to show this on my screen. This is for Clue 2. I showed Clue 1 last week. Maybe I should do both of them together. Maybe that'll make more sense. She always puts these little poems on her clues, and they are usually a clue into what the name of the shawl is going to be. Now, I think she's already named this shawl, but we might be pleasantly surprised. I have no idea. All right, so it started with a moment passes and then another, a row added to a row. So now for clue 2, we have at once, pieces break, and others heal. Isn't that beautiful? I just love those as well. I just love seeing those every time she does a clue update. I think they're really sweet, so that's why I wanted to share those with you. Before I get into it too much further, this is the first time you are watching one of these videos and you are interested in knitting the Romi Hill shawl. You need 2 skeins of fingering weight yarn. One can be like a lightly speckled yarn like this, and then the other one can be more tonal, but you need kind of two that go well together. At least 400 yards of a fingering weight yarn. I have seen some people doing something a little bit different. I will explain that in just a minute, but I am using 2, like I said, I'm doing 2. I'm using a kit I bought one was from Amanda Hope. This is You Had Me at Grello and Steel, her Aussie fingering weight yarns. And then the other kit that I'm using, I bought from a Verb for Keeping Warm. And that is the yarn store that Romi pairs with every year to offer these kits for her mystery knit along. And I talked about that in the first video extensively, but there I will show a picture of that as I mentioned all that. But that is the Rumor yarn base. She has 3 different yarn bases that they partner with. The Rumor is a merino silk blend. I will link both of those yarn stores in the description box below if you're interested in going checking them out. I did see, a Rubber Keeping Warm still sells that yarn online. Maybe not the kits, but they sell that yarn base online in that color, so you can go try to find it when they have it in stock. And I know that Amanda Hope still has the kits I'm using. I think you have to wait for it to be dyed, but it's still available to be purchased online if you do decide that you just love these colors together. And I do think both of them are turning out really, really beautiful. I will say one thing before I get into the clue that I am a little nervous about knitting this up. I'm nervous that I'm getting low on my color 1. We still have 3 more clues left. For the first one, for the Romi Hill yarn, I have 36 grams of my yarn left. For my Amanda Hope, I have 31 grams of my yarn left. So I'm hoping I'm going to have enough yarn. She's usually really good about calculating that out, so I hope it will all work out for the best. We'll just have to see. So what I'm going to do is I had them pinned out in the other room because I thought it was just easier so you can see them side by side. And plus, I'm not trying to, I can focus the camera exactly where I want you to see stuff. So I'm going to go in the other room and I'm going to insert a clip when I get ready to show that. Since we are to that point, here's my reminder. If you do not want to see these, you might want to turn the camera off because I'm about to insert a clip to show you the clues and talk about them. To show you these shawls, turn off your camera if you don't want to see them, but here is clue 2, pinned side by side. These are my 2 shawls. You can see how big this shawl has gotten since we last did this last week. We stopped. Let's see, I'm going to do this one first because I did the other one first last time. Wow, in this light, you really can see the color a lot better. This is called You Had Me at Grello, and you can see the pops of yellow and the gray, and I just love the yarn. I love this kind of creamy light gray base that it is. This is from Amanda Hope. Those are the 2 colors together, You Had Me at Grello and Steel. We stopped right about here. That was clue 1, and this is what we've done for clue 2. You can see how I was right. These I thought these were going to become leaves, and they have. And let me just kind of go slow. You see the flower. So you start with a flower, and then you have some more leaves, and then you have bigger leaves. And I think this is symbolizing maybe a root. What do you guys think? But you can see how it just goes the same design over and over, but it's actually 7 times. It's not over and over. But what I really love on this shawl this year are these beautiful lines that she's creating by doing all these decreases and increases. And then you carry it along down through here. You have these gorgeous lines of things that are of your knitting that are showing the design. And I just look at this leaf. Just beautiful. Just so pretty. And even there, you know, she's got the detail of this, like the stem with the little offshoots of that. Just so pretty and such a beautiful, beautiful design. The one thing I want to show you, like the center double, like the SK2P, that's the top of this. You still got your 3SK stitch I showed in the clue 1, and then your knit 3 togethers like right in here. Bringing those stitches in to create that nice point. The one stitch I want to mention, because I mentioned, well, no, I mentioned it in my stitch tutorial, but just remember this, like when you do a knit 3 together, I'm sorry, when you do a knit yarn over knit, it's right here on the edges of this, and it's, let's see, I think maybe, is it right here? Yeah, right here. Let me pull that pin out. It's right there. You can see that stitch right there. That's kind of how it fans out. You started out with that one stitch right there. You did a knit, yarn over knit, and then the back row is the purl stitch, and that's how it kind of fans out. And that's kind of what a knit yarn over knit will look like when you do it in your design. It creates a cute little design there. And I wanted to show that because if you watch the stitch tutorial, or if you watch some of my shorts tutorial, some people often wonder, what does that stitch end up looking like after you do that in your design? So that's my first shawl. This is the second one. And as you can see, this is the one I have 31 grams of yarn left. Kind of getting a little worried. I'm going to trust Romi, but getting a little nervous about that. This is the yarn from A Verb for Keeping Warm, the kits that Romi put together. And I'm just loving the coral. I haven't ever really knit with this peach coral before, and it's just beautiful. This is called Labia Extravaganza, and this is called Pan Dulce. As you can see, you can kind of use a lightly speckled yarn for your first color, and then a more tonal for your second. And again, this is what, let me come back. So you can see the design, you can see the flower in the center here. And then of course the leaves all coming out. And then I guess that's the root. We'll see, it looks kind of like a root. Maybe you can see it coming down like that. And sorry, my cable needle is a little wonky. It was hard to pin out. This cable needle is acting a little odd for me. So I'm sorry it's making my shawl be a little wavy along the bottom there. But as you can see, just beautiful stitches. Just such a beautiful design. I'm thinking about making a third one, and I usually don't do that. I kind of want to make a third one with that, with some of the yarn I bought at my yarn store. Let me show you. I want to show you the stitch that I just showed you on the other side. I may have to turn it like this. Sorry, I hope I'm not making you guys seasick with all the motion. But that is the knit yarn over knit stitch right here. These 3 stitches here right before my stitch marker. And you can see how it makes a fan design. It started with the 1 stitch. What's my stitch marker? My 1 stitch right there. Did a knit yarn over knit. And then that's just the wrong side row coming back. And that's how that looks. And let's see. You know, you have your SK2P, you have your 3 stitches, the 3SK, and the knit 3 togethers right in there to create these beautiful lines. And that's what it's looking like. Just beautiful. You can see I love these leaves. There's leaves here, and there's leaves here. That's what that is. That's a leaf. And then, of course, I guess maybe it isn't a root. Maybe it's the start of another flower. But it's just so pretty. Let me step back again so you can see both of them at the same time. But that's what they're both looking like. This one is a single ply fingering weight yarn. This one is a 4-ply fingering weight yarn. And I'm using US 4 needles on both. And just really enjoying the process of knitting them both. And like I said, I'm thinking about doing a third, but probably not until after the mystery knit along is over. Thank you so much for letting me show that. I enjoy sharing that and talking through these clues here with you. and showing you all the stitches. Let's see. I want to ask one other thing, if you don't mind. You know, I mentioned I did the short videos. Do you like, if I could ask you guys if you'd like, wouldn't mind, put a comment down below. Do you like the short little videos showing the stitches, or do you not like them? Do you think it's too redundant or too much? Let me know down in the comments below. I would appreciate the feedback. Just trying to mix it up a little bit. And also sometimes it's just fun, maybe just to have it right there. No intro, no extra fluff, just the stitches and how to do it. As a reference point. So just let me know. Let's see. All right, now we're going to get into the point where we're going to be sharing 3 other people that are working on this shawl here. Now I have shown you the first one I'm going to show you. I've already shown. I showed her shawl start last week. This is Vanessa, and she's tiggrgirl. As I called her tiggrgirl. She told me it was Winnie the Pooh, so tiggrgirl on Ravelry, and she is using an Arkansas yarn company, my first love, and Malabrigo yarn, sock yarn in 857 Light of Love. Now these I can't wait for that second color to come in, but this is her clue 1 finished. I just showed her shawl start last week, but now she's finished her clue 1 and is starting to work on her clue 2 today, she told me in an email. So I just love how her colors are working. They're gorgeous, 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 and her knitting looks amazing. The next person to share with us is Donna Holmes. Donna is, oh, I just love the colors Donna is using. She's working on her clue 1. She might be on clue 2 by now, but this is her clue 1 update. She is using a yarn from All Dyed Up Fibers. This is the light blue one. It's in merino cashmere nylon, called an MCN. If you ever hear an MCN yarn, that's a merino cashmere nylon blend. Can you imagine cashmere? That's going to be amazing. It's 70% merino, 20% cashmere, 10% nylon, and it's called Galaxy colorway, which is perfect, right? It's just awesome. It's a beautiful name. Looks like a sky with stars. And then the dark blue yarn that she's using is called Twinkle Toes. It is 75% merino, 20% nylon, 5% stellina. It's really, really, really beautiful. And I just love the look of these 2 yarns together. I think she picked them perfectly, and I can't wait to see her finished shawl. Thank you, Donna, so much for sharing your picture with us and letting us see this shawl being knitted up in another yarn base. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. The third person to share with us is Joyce Swensson, my beautiful friend Joyce, who's been on my show before. She's yarn motivated in Ravelry. She is using 2 yarns from Fiber Optics Yarns. One is a cashmere yarn. That's the darkest yarn, called Darkest Hour. And then she's using a unified cashmere gradient called Sunrise, and that's what she's starting out with. And that's what I want to point out, is this is kind of inspirational to me, because I didn't think of maybe as one of the colors could be a gradient, as a gradient. That's a really great idea, and I love that, and I'm loving the look of it. This is her start. It's beautiful, gorgeous. And thank you so much, Joyce, for sharing that with us. I'm just excited to see everybody's clues. So thank you to Donna and Vanessa and Joyce for sharing your projects with us today. You guys are awesome. And I'm so excited that my friends are also knitting this along with me. It just means the world to me, and I enjoy seeing that so much. All right, so now I'm going to start something kind of new here. I know that I went to my local yarn store last week. I already mentioned that. I showed a bunch of yarn. Well, I showed a few yarns that I bought from their store. A lot of you guys went kind of crazy over one of the yarn things that I showed. So I decided I'm going to give it away. And I'm going to maybe be doing some of these giveaways just in the middle of my videos. Instead of it making it quite so easy for people just to see that it's a giveaway. The people who watch my videos and time again, thank you. This is kind of a thank you. I know you're watching, and here's a little kind of hidden giveaway. And I'm going to ask you guys to put a comment down below this video. Make sure you include the word that I mentioned, and I will do a giveaway. I'll put a date down in the comments below as well. It'll be probably, you won't have a long time. Maybe I'll do it like right before Clue 3 releases next week, so you have a week to get it done. All right, so you guys went crazy over this yarn. This yarn is from Suburban Stitches. This is a sock yarn. This is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 460 yards for 100 grams. And this colorway is called Flutter. And remember, this colorway is called Maple. And you guys just went so crazy over this. And I love it. I think it's gorgeous. But I am going to give this away. And so if you guys want to win this and be considered for it, please, in your comment down below, 1 comment per person, please include the word suburban. And I'll show you how to spell it. It's S-U-B-U-R-B-A-N, suburban. Put that in your comment below, and we'll draw a winner for that next week. And I'm so excited to be able to do that. I think these would make a gorgeous Romi Hill shawl, or any type of shawl, really. I just think they're really, really pretty. All right, so I'm just kind of been lately, I've really been drawn to the coral colors, so I'm really excited about that. I just think it's so, this one is just so gorgeous, and this color, when I saw them together, they just perfect together, right? All right, so now we are to the point where we're going to be talking about the stitches. So if you guys don't want to watch this, I understand. But I have three new stitches to share with you. Now, I mentioned in the first clue, all of the stitches. I have a stitch tutorial I'm going to be doing for Tone Poem, which is the Lace Lovers Club for Romi Hill for 2022, the first shawl. I did a tutorial that will be releasing next week. I said it would be this week. It's going to be next week. I just had too much going on my channel, something every day, and I really don't like to do that, but it'll be next week. And in that tutorial will be a lot of the stitches for this shawl. I mentioned all the stitches that are in this shawl in the previous week's clue, except there are 3 new stitches this week that I'm going to show you. Now, if you've been watching my short videos, you already know, but these are the longer versions. And so the first clue the first stitch that I'm going to show you is the central double decrease stitch. Now, this is a stitch where you can take 3 stitches on your left hand needle and decrease it into 1. It's called the center double decrease because a lot of decreases will lean to the right or to the left. This one is centered. On the Romi Hill Mystery Shawl Knit Along for 2022, there's a new stitch in clue 2. This is called the center double decrease. It's going to involve the next 3 stitches on your left hand needle. What you're going to do is you're going to take your right hand needle, insert it into the first 2 stitches as if to knit them, and just slip them off your needle, off that left hand needle, and you'll see they'll be on the right hand needle. And what was your second stitch has now become your first stitch over here on the right hand needle. In your third stitch, you're going to insert your right hand needle as if to knit and knit it. So you knit the third stitch. Then you take those 2 slip stitches and pass them up and over that knitted stitch and off the right hand needle. And it looks like that. That's the center double decrease. 3 stitches into 1. It's a decrease stitch and it is centered. That's why it's called the center double decrease, because some stitches will lean to the right or to the left. This one is centered. All right, the next stitch I want to show you guys is it's a cabled stitch. It's called the 2-2 RC. Anytime you have an R or an L in your cable stitch, R means it leans to the right, L means it leans to the left, the cable, after it's knitted. So anytime you see an R, that means your stitches that you put on your cable needle will be taken to the back of your work. When you see an L, you'll bring your stitches to the front, and that's how you make it lean to the right or to the left. Stitch is a cabled stitch called the 2-2 RC. Basically, you're going to use a cable needle or a DPN, whatever you have. I have a DPN right here that I'm going to use to hold. You put your first 2 stitches on the cable needle or the DPN. You're going to hold it to the back since this is a right leaning. It's RC, right leaning cabled stitch, and then you're going to knit the next 2 stitches that's on your left hand needle. So you knit them like this, and then after you knit those 2 stitches, you knit the 2 stitches on your cable needle DPN. That's a 2-2 RC, and it's called an RC because see how it leans to the right there? This is leaning to the right. So that's a little bit of a hint. And now see that was split across a stitch marker. So I'm going to take those off, put my stitch marker back in, and now I'm ready to keep on moving on. Now the last stitch I'm going to show you guys is the KYOK. That just means knit, yarn over knit. You're going to do a knit, yarn over knit in the all in the same stitch, and it creates this cute little fan design. I showed you that in when I was showing the shawls off, how it looks like after you come back with the wrong side row. But it's just kind of like a little decorative stitch, and it's an increase stitch. You take one stitch and make it into 3. Okay, I'm going to be showing you another new stitch for the Romi Hill Mystery Shawl Knit Along for 2022 called Timed Heels. I think this is one of the first stitch tutorials I ever showed on my channel, but I'm going to do a new one because this is a new stitch for this shawl. This is an increased stitch. You're going to do it in 1 stitch, becomes 3. It's called a knit yarn over knit. You do exactly what it sounds. Okay, the first thing you want to do is you want to insert your right hand needle into the next stitch on your left hand needle. Do a knit stitch. Do not pull that stitch off the left hand needle yet. You're not done with it. Do a yarn over like that. Insert your right hand needle back into that same stitch. Do another knit stitch. So it's a knit, yarn over knit. Your 1 stitch becomes 3. And that's what it looks like. Makes a nice little decorative stitch. And I believe that's all I have for today. Thank you guys so much for spending time with me. It is always such a joy for me to be able to spend time with you, and for you guys to be here with me and letting me share my latest things I'm working on. If you want to share with me what you're currently working on down in the comments below, I would love to hear that from you. Otherwise, thank you again. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And please don't forget, on Saturday, I will be having a live show. It will be a little bit different than what I normally do. I will be having a special guest. That's Irina Shar from Fiber Chats. She interviews a lot of the latest and greatest designers for quilts, yarn dyers, knitting, crochet. So I hope that you will join me. That'll be 10 o'clock a.m. on Saturday, the 7th, on my channel. And that's 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, my time. So anyway, thank you so much. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Take care of yourselves. I hope to see you all very, very soon.